Hi guys, Debbie here. Welcome to my channel if you're new here, or welcome back. So today's video is a super exciting one. It's a collab that I've been planning with 4 other beauty channels, and I'll link those all down below. And we're all in the, shall we say, slightly older bracket. That's what I'm going to say. So we're calling ourselves the Foxy Five, just for want of a better word. I think we're all quite foxy and fearless with our makeup, but we were chatting about what we might do as a collab. I've collabed with 3 of these ladies before, and I will link that for you as well, but we've got a new member too, so there's now 5 of us, and we were talking about what we might do, and I wanted to do a makeup through the ages kind of concept, because I feel like that's what true glamour is all about, is like taking references from other eras and pulling those together to what now makes makeup what it is today. It's the same with fashion. It's there's nothing really that's revolutionary and new anymore. A lot of it is pulled from the vintage past. So I'm very much into vintage shopping and also love vintage movies. So the era that I wanted to recreate was the 1950s, and everybody's chosen a different era of makeup to recreate. So for me, this is going to be a challenge, because it's not all about the cut creases and bright colourful makeup that you're used to seeing me do if you've been to my channel before. It's much more of a subtle kind of makeup, and it was all about making your features as beautiful as possible. And this video, more than any that I've done, has been a bit of a labour of love, and it's taken me a long time to actually sit down and film it, because I want to do it justice and wanted to get the feel for it, you know, in the right way. So I've been falling down a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole, as you do when you first start to watch one video, it leads to another, and I've spent a lot of time looking at 1950s hairstyle, makeup, etc., to get a feel for the era. I mean, I know obviously from the films, from the stars that I love from the 50s, Elizabeth Taylor, Marilyn Monroe, Sophia Loren, all of those kind of stars, I know what they look like on film, but I wanted to just be sure that I was capturing the era, and it's not exactly what I maybe thought it was. So I'm probably not going to do it justice. I'm going to link another video down below that I found so useful if you're interested in this period of makeup and you want to recreate something that's really authentic, and that's Zabrena's channel. I don't know if you guys follow Zabrena, but I find her so useful in learning technique, and again, this was really useful for me in learning how to do the eras of makeup, and she's done every era, like going through, so I've got to catch up with some more of hers. But 1950s makeup one and her hairstyle were amazing, so really enjoyed watching those. And I'm not going to play it or anything like that side by side, because I don't want to copy it, but I've taken a lot of references from that video. So been a hell of a long intro, so I'm just going to start getting into it. I've got a bare face because I'm going to do a full face of makeup, because it's not so much just about the eyes, it's creating the whole vibe of the look. So I can't do it with 1950s products, but I'm trying to replicate as much the sort of products that they might have used. So I've got the Temp Miracle compact here, which probably looks a little bit disgusting because it's quite old, but it's more like the pancake kind of foundation, because that's the foundation that they favoured in the 50s rather than liquid foundation. It's quite dark for me, this, but I'll be able to lighten it with powder. So I'm just going to go in with that, and using it again because I haven't used this in a long time. I'd kind of forgotten I'd got it, if I'm honest, and I started moving to the brands that are a lot more trendy on YouTube, shall we say. I used to love all the bougie brands like Lancome, Chanel, Estee Lauder before I got into YouTube. So I've got a lot of that kind of makeup, but never obviously use it on camera because it's not what people want to see, I don't think. Let me know if you do. But yeah, I'm going to build up a base using this product, and it's kind of a cream to powdery sort of formula. It's dried out a little bit, so it's probably a bit more powdery than it used to be, but it has got pretty good coverage. So the idea in the 50s wasn't to have a glow, as I've learnt from watching Zabrena's video. It was all about a flat matte face. So that's what we're going to be creating using the products that I've chosen for this video. So I'm just using like a flat sponge because they didn't have access to all the brushes that we do now. And I remember my era of getting into makeup. It was the 80s, or probably even late 70s if I'm honest. I was born in 1968, so in the 80s was like my era for makeup. But I used to watch my mum when I was a very little girl doing her makeup with a lot of Max Factor, and she would use these kind of sponges that used to come with the product, and that's what she used to use to apply it. So I'm glad I chose this era in a way, because it's a homage a little bit to my childhood and my mum, because she loves all of this kind of era in time, you know, the whole Hollywood and everything else. And incidentally today she's going to love this, because I'm taking her out today. It's Monday, I've got the day off, and I'm taking her to see the biopic Judy with Renee Zellweger in it, where she plays Judy Garland, which my mum is absolutely going to love. And I'm going to look a little bit vintagey with my curls and my diamonds, and she's probably going to love it. I'll probably stand out like a sore thumb in the cinema, but I really don't care. So this will probably end up turning into a little bit of a chatty get ready with me, because that's what I prefer when I'm doing my makeup more than anything. It's taken a little while to build up a decent coverage that I might want, particularly trying to blur out those cheeks, but I'm not mad at it. It's settling really nicely on my skin. It's just not as full coverage as what I mean, I only wear medium coverage, but this is probably lighter than that, so I'm really having to build it up. Now I'm fairly sure they didn't have concealer in the 1950s, and they probably used a shade of their foundation perhaps a bit lighter, or perhaps didn't need to use it, but I'm going to go with them because I haven't got flawless under eyes and I have got some dark circles going on. So I'm going to put that down, but I'm going to just warm that up with my fingers and just blend it out that way, which again, before I started really getting into makeup, I used to always pat my foundations in with my fingers, and I think the warmth from your fingers definitely helps your makeup to blend into your skin. So that's what we're going to do here, and hope that it works. I've got a bit of a line there, but we'll cover that with powder, so we'll be fine. So whilst getting ready for this video, I thought I'd better put some waves in my hair, and I've been looking at some tutorials for 1950s hair, some of which say 10-minute easy. I've burnt my neck, I've burnt my head, I've burnt my fingertips trying to curl my hair. I don't know how anyone does it. Definitely wasn't 5 minutes. It's probably taken me about an hour just to get a few little waves into it to actually look like proper curls, because normally it's just frizzy curls if I leave it to its own devices. Right, for powder I'm going in with the Kat Von D Translucent, because it is the lightest powder that I own, and I want to make my skin look pale and flawless, which I think was the look of the 50s. I'm going in with a powder puff though, because I think, although they wouldn't have had a shaped one like this, powder puffs were the way that they used to do it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just going to really press that into the skin. I might end up liking my base more this way, I think. I'm not used to being super matte though. I do prefer a glowy complexion, but powder has to really airbrush your skin. It does look really nice like that. I'm going to use quite a lot of powder, for me anyway, and try and get my skin as flawless as I can. Which incidentally, we have a little breakout here that has been the bane of my life all week from, I think, using my moisturiser. I've said in the video that I made to get ready with me, and I said I've used moisturiser, which I never do because it always breaks me out. I used moisturiser in that video and the next day I had a spot, so I don't think I can wear moisturiser. Well, definitely not that one anyway. But I don't seem to be able to wear any, if I'm honest. It just clogs my pores and breaks me out. My mum wouldn't have used loose powder actually, she would have used a compact, and I think a compact powder is a lot less messy. I've got powder all over my beauty table and all over my knees now. I'm not very good at powdering with lots of powder because I just don't do it. So, okay, so we've got the base down, and you can still see a bit of my skin through, but it's fairly matte. So the other thing that they used to do is blush. There was no contour, highlight, etc. It was just blush and quite peachy toned. So I'm going to go in with this one, which is quite scary, but I'm only going to do it with a very, very light hand. Now I'm going to use a brush for this. And it was more on the sort of apples of the cheeks than as a contour, so because they liked a more of a rounded kind of looking face than we do. So we chisel everything in. They wanted to actually make their cheeks the prominent feature. I actually really like this brush. I don't think I've ever used it. It's one of these ones that you get free, which Lancome do quite a bit. When you buy a product, you get a free product from them, or a whole set of free products, which is what attracted me to Lancome when I first started buying them, because I love a freebie. It's not nearly as scary a blush as I thought, so I'm building it up a bit more now. Okay, so I've got a flush of peach on my cheeks and looking still quite flat-faced, I guess. Now, I don't think eyeshadow primer was probably a thing, but I'm going to put some sort of primer down. Just going to go in with a clear primer, which is the Primer Lock by Revolution, because I don't want the makeup to be too heavy. I'm just going to use my fingers just to blend that in as well. Okay, I think the key thing for 1950s makeup was the brow shape, and the brows went in a arch, so kind of up and then back down and quite full at the front. And this is the bit that scares me most about this look, because brows are not my forte. I am rubbish at brows. So for rather than going in with a pomade, I'm going to build it up slowly, and I'm going to use a powder. So I've got my Linda Hallberg Infinity palette. I'm going to go in with the shade Cigar, and I'm going to start with that to map out the shape. Might not even be dark enough to do it actually, but I feel like I'm getting the shape way better on this eye, because it needs to go up and then down. So you almost look permanently surprised. I quite like that brow shape, personally. I don't like the very flat sort of straight across brows anyway. I think going with the powder is allowing me to take my time and build up that shape, so, and then I'll perhaps go in with pomade afterwards just to intensify it. I know my mum still uses a cake brow product, so like a pressed cream cake thing with a little brush in it, which she struggles to find now, but I think the brow box that Urban Decay do is that sort of a product. Used to always be Max Factor or Miners. Does anyone remember Miners makeup? Really going back a bit now. That eyebrow's my good eyebrow. Always goes better than this side. Not minding doing brows with powder though, this is a revelation to me. It is looking a bit more natural. So my mum is 81 and she still does her brows every day, and she wears lipstick. She always used to wear like really bright lipsticks, because bright lipstick is another thing from the 50s, which she was young in the 50s, or that was her era of makeup, so she's carried on doing the strong brows and the red lips, or orange. She likes orange, more orangey base reds. Yeah, I feel like this brow is definitely capturing more of the essence of what I wanted. Just needs to be thicker at the front. If you ever wondered why beauty channels don't do their brows very often on camera, you can see why, because it's not the quickest process. Right, I think I need to get a bit of depth of colour in there now, so I've gone in with 4 nuts, which is the black. I'm just mapping out some strokes just to bring a bit of depth to those brows. That one has not got the arch that I wanted. And this one's looking a lot more 1950s. I've taken all my photos from this side. Just doing very feather-light strokes to incorporate this black, because being as fair as I am, I've got to be very careful that it doesn't look ridiculous on me, to be honest. But at least with powder, if you go wrong, it's a bit more forgiving, I think. There we go, that's giving me a bit more of an arch shape there now. I think we're getting there. I think to really get the shape, I'd either have needed to have blocked out my brows and then restarted, or had them plucked in a bit more of a V, because the shape isn't allowing me to really get that arch that I would have liked. But I really want them quite full at the front. Yeah, I feel like that one's incorporated the shape quite well, and that one not so much, but they're not too bad. So then for eyeshadow, they did use pastel colours, just a wash of colour over the eyes, but I'm just going to go neutrals in this look. And I am going to use the brush. I used to see my mum just using those sponge tipped applicators. I just don't have any of those anymore, otherwise I would have done that. But I'm going to use the shade Sidecar out of the original Naked palette. And I'm just going to apply that all over my lid. Nothing too crazy at all. and build up a little bit more pigment in the outer corner. Because I'm going to put a wing liner on, and that will just echo the shape there of that. Whenever I dig out this palette, which this is the second one of these I've bought because my last one was getting so disgusting and decided to repurchase it, I always think how amazing it is. It's like, it is the best naked palette in my opinion. I think they could have stopped with this one and it would have been fine. It's such a classic. Got to avoid the temptation to go crazy like I usually do. And I'm just going to use the shade Naked just to give me a little bit of a blend there, just above that shimmer. In the videos I've seen, they didn't do any lower lash line at all, so that's pretty much the eyes. Just going to use a blending brush with no product on, just to remove some of the product that I've put on actually, just to... So I think that's probably way more eyeshadow than they would have worn. Okay, now for the fun part. So eyeliner featured heavily in this era, so I've got an Illamas Kajal Eyeliner. Not used this very often, so because I usually use liquid liner, but I think more pot liners or pencils perhaps would have been the thing. So I'm going to create my little wing with that. I'm trying not to let this go too crazy. And then I'm going to use a fine eyeliner brush and the same eyeliner just to create the eyeliner. Eyeliner is quite tricky, I think. I've got the general vibe. It's perhaps gone a little bit bigger than they would have done. Okay, wings are on. The temptation to kind of perfect them is real, but I think if I keep doing that, they'll get bigger and bigger, which is what happens when I do them. So they're not perfect, but they're on. They're probably a bit bigger, or definitely a bit bigger than they would have worn in that era. So the next thing is going to be a bit of mascara. Haven't got any vintage mascaras. I feel Benefit's quite a vintage brand and it's been around for a long time and has that vintage vibe even now with like their products. So just sticking with my normal one really, but only putting mascara on my upper lashes. Okay, and then we're doing something that I've never done on camera, and we're going to be applying some lashes because I don't feel you can do justice to a glamour look like this without them. So okay, so these are the lashes I'm going to go in with. Aynne Luxe lashes in the style Bauble, and I have no idea how to apply them, so this could be fun. Okay, lashes are kind of on. They feel like they're going to fall off at any minute, so I hope I can make it through the video with them still on. I don't know how anyone gets on with lashes. They look incredible. I love lashes, but yeah, got them on. I think I've cut them too short in the corners, but might just take a bit of liner down there just so that you can't see so much the line. Okay, so we filled in the gap just a little there. Okay, so moving on from the lashes, so red lips or orange lips or even pink lips were the vogue in the 50s. I'm going to go in with a classic red lip. I'm going to use the Glide On pencil by Urban Decay in the shade 714. And I've also got the matte lipstick in 714, which is the Urban Decay Vice lipstick. So lips were overlined in those days, yeah, like that. So we're going to do that. And I feel like there was always a big Cupid's bow to lips then. Alright, so lips are lined, and then I'm going to go with a lip brush to fill those in. Just taking that straight out of the bullet. Because I feel like if anything, you've got to get the lips perfect for a look like this. And that is the finished look. And it wasn't easy to get there. It was quite, for a neutral look, it took a long time, but I don't think I've ever felt so beautiful and so glamorous in a makeup look. So I'll zoom in a little bit or scooch in a bit so you can see the eyes. Ignore my terrible eyelash application, but so the eyes are just super simple, but I feel glamorous, I feel pretty, got my nails to match as well. And I've had a blast doing this one. So thank you to everyone that's in this collab with me. As I say, I'll link your looks below. We've got all eras of makeup for you to see. So lots more colourful looks than this one. So if you're here for colourful eyeshadow and this one was a bit boring for you, there's lots of colourful looks to see as well. But I had a blast doing this, and I think for a night out, like for, I don't know, if I'm going to a ball or something like that, which I don't do often, but I go on cruises, and I think this sort of a look is perfect for that. So, and I hope my mum will appreciate it. So I'm super excited to go to the pictures now. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to probably take the lashes off, I'm not going to lie, because they are really uncomfortable. But I'm going to probably leave the makeup as it is. I'm going to go and see Judy with my mum and have a proper girly day. So hope you guys are having a lovely day or night wherever you are. As I say, comment below if you've enjoyed seeing this. Would you like to see more vintage kind of inspired looks from me? I'll be interested to do other eras actually now I've done this. So let me know. But if you enjoyed the video, then please give it a like. And if you're new here, I'd love it if you consider subscribing before you go. Other than that, guys, catch you in the next one. Bye.